Okay. Shalom Aleichem. This is me, Minchel, 89. Wisdom is justified by what? According to Matthew 11:19 in the Byzantine text, we read, "The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, Behold, a gluttonous man and a wine drinker, and a friend of tax collectors and of sinners, and behold, and wisdom was justified by her technon, children." Witnessed by the second corrector to Vaticanus, Ephrami, Codex Ephrami, Codex Bezae, Codex Regius, Codex Caridici, Minuscule Family 1, and Minuscule 13. Respectively, I'm not sure when the second corrector of Byzantine was, of Vaticanus was. Evidently came after when Vaticanus came after, which is the 4th century. Codex Ephrami is 5th century, Bezae 5th, Regius, which is L, is 8th century. Codex Theta, which is Coridethi, is 9th century, and Minuscule 1 is 12th to 14th century. Can't remember when Minuscule 33 was. However, in the Alexandrian manuscript, or in Nessalon, we read, "The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they were saying, Lo, a man gluttonous and a tippler, a tribute collector, and sinner's friend, and justified with wisdom by her acts." Ergon. So there is a variant there. Not sure why. I can't explain this variant, at least not linguistically. Maybe someone can. But this is witnessed by Sinaiticus, which is 4th century text, Codex Sinaiticus, which is the Aleph. Codex Vaticanus, with an asterisk. The reason that there's an asterisk there, an asterisk represents that, let's say I write the original document, someone else comes and changes the word in it. So the third person comes by reading, let's say he read the first one before. So he reads the correction to it, reads the document, says, whoa, something ain't right, this is not what the original says, and then changes it back to what the text originally was. So this is what Byzantine, and this is what this asterisk means. This is the original reading when there was a later correction. So, Codex Bezae, again, 4th century. Codex Washingtonianus, which is early 5th century, which is W, and Minuscule Family 13th, 11th through 15th century. I'll read Ergon, which is act or deeds. So, even though the majority of the text read children, we have the earliest manuscript reads deeds, and in the Minuscule family we have at least 2 centuries more in testimony than we do for Ergon than we do Technon. I'm not sure, again, I cannot linguistically explain the contradiction other than I can explain it because of Luke 7:35, which says, "And justified with wisdom by all her children." Septus says children, technon. Nessalon 26 says technon. Again, representing the Alexandrian and Byzantine manuscripts respectively. I don't know of any variant in this verse. So the only way to explain the variant in Matthew is since these are later manuscripts, the Byzantine redactors reading the Greek sees an error, sees a contradiction. And they're realizing that Jesus can't be saying the same thing. But remember, Luke and Matthew, if you go to the stories, they're recording the same event, same conversation. Everything the same, except for this one word, techno, and ergon. this is the only difference. So there's a contradiction. And Jesus can't be saying two different things, which the Greek has it doing. So Byzantine then corrects the book of Matthew, as we see, to resolve the conflict. However, here's the problem. In Aramaic Matthew, we read, "The Son of Man came, eating and drinking, and they said, Behold, a glutton and a winebibber, and a friend of publicans and sinners, and yet wisdom is justified by its works." Evidye, her works, deeds, building, service, comes from the root eved, which means to work, to serve. So Textus Receptus, or the Byzantine manuscripts, cannot be looking at this text. Absolutely can't, because you cannot read this any other way than works or service and deeds. Stands to reason that the Western reading is the more accurate and original. And again, that means that Byzantine then just changed the text on purpose because he saw a contradiction. In Luke, the Aramaic reads, "And yet wisdom is justified by all its works." Bene, works, her works, deeds, and service. Okay, so we have a change from children to works in the book of Luke somehow. All the Greek manuscripts say children. So why is the difference? Well, because the word bene in Aramaic and the word for which is works is also the word for son, bene. The exact same word that's being used. No vowel point. The only way you can tell the difference is by context. So the Aramaic redactors, again, we have no conflict in Aramaic. We do have a contradiction in Greek. And the reason being is because Luke, translating, or at least the redactor of the Greek redactor of Luke, reading the Aramaic, came across the Bene and translated it as son. They only have two options, work and son, and they chose the wrong one. And choosing the wrong one, translating it son, created a contradiction. This is why the later redactors of Matthew saw the contradiction and changed it. Because they knew that Jesus could not be saying two different things, which Alexandrian text has him doing. Again, as I said earlier, we know this is speaking of works and not sons in Luke, because in Matthew uses an Aramaic, an exclusive term that means nothing but works and deeds. So the error is not on the Aramaic part, the error is on the on the Greek part. And if you note, though, this cannot go any other way. This cannot be a Greek to Aramaic error. This is only a one-way street. The only way this error can ever happen and take place is if the Greek text is translating from the Aramaic, from the Peshitta, thus proving the Peshitta to be original. Until next time, Shalom Aleichem.